for the type of vehicle this is, I would say very... Ladies and gentlemen, 2018 VW Golf GTI SE trim. The owner bought this for about $27,000 with 7,000 miles on the clock. And right now he says the resale value is right around 25K because low mileage. But in general, Mark 7.5s are going on the market for about 18 to about 25K. And we're going to see today, at that price point, right around 20K, how much car are you getting? Should you get this or should you get something else? I think in terms of styling, the Mark 7.5 is my favorite Golf. You still have that very modern, sharp headline design, very angular, but you know, the Mark 8, mixed feelings on the exterior and definitely the interior. Most people don't like with the capacitive touch. Loving the color as well. Sun is setting, so you may not be able to appreciate it in its full glory, but this is white silver metallic, which is very similar to Porsche's ice gray metallic. I think the color codes might even be the same. We got VIMT 6-speed manual, gotta love that. And in terms of mods, we've got a rear sway bar and end links, RBF 600 brake fluid with street pageant pads, PS4S tires, and a Borla S-type catback. And that's a 235 section width in all four corners. But now what you want to see is how she drives. I have driven some other Golfs before of this generation, and I always felt like the interior punched way above its weight class. We got the Golf shift knob, of course. Nice leather wrapped steering wheel. All right, we're gonna put traction off. And we're in normal mode, I believe. So we're gonna start. We're powered by a 2-liter turbocharged engine, inline 4, making 220 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque. There was actually a 10 horsepower bump for the 2018 model year compared to the Mark 7, which was 2017 and prior. We're going nice and easy on the downhill just because the brakes are not going to otherwise handle it. Now the SE, this is the middle trim, the SE, this had the Performance Pack standard. So you got LSD and bigger brakes. The lowest level did not have that, but this and the highest level did have that standard. MSRP was $32K new, and you're getting a good amount of car for that money, I'd say. Seats are nice and supportive and comfortable. Seating position in a car like this is naturally a little bit more upright than you would expect from something like a proper sports car. But given what this is, I'd say great seats and great seating position too. Just keep in mind it is more upright than a sports car. But I'm able to get comfortable, and having longer legs and being on the taller side, sometimes I struggle with that, but this telescopes pretty far. Seats are good. The only complaint I would say is, like, you know, maybe the transmission, I gotta reach a little bit further to get down here. So now going from normal mode, we're gonna go to sport. And really what it does in this car is makes a more aggressive throttle map. It adds some artificial weight to the steering. And it adds fake noise to the cabin as well. But the owner had mentioned that it doesn't quite work with the catback. So let's try that ourselves. If we get to a straightaway, I think I can wring this out a little bit. That LSD definitely makes a difference, helping you rotate as you get on the power. With front-wheel drive cars, having a good LSD makes such a big difference. Your corner exit goes from being incredibly frustrating to more aligned with what you want the car to do. Now, VW is known for underrating the cars. Owner says that it actually is putting the power and torque rating more to the wheels than to the crank. And the car weighs 3,100 pounds. It feels quick enough for what it is, for sure. Tires begging for mercy. Not getting a ton through the wheel, honestly, but getting a little bit. It's at least a natural rack. It's not overly fast or slow. It's fairly accurate. Again, for the type of vehicle this is, I would say very congruent steering. Now, the owner has a custom mode that we're going to switch into now. This has comfort steering and the fake engine noise disabled. Yeah, man, that LSD at corner exit working its magic. Not as aggressive as the Elantra N. Heel toe not that natural here because when you get on the brakes, just the position of the brake pedal is quite high. So unless you're braking hard, it is a bit tricky to heel toe properly. Keep that in mind. Softer suspension. Missed heel toe right there. I do want to applaud VW for making this car so congruent. Everything is, it is a spicier VW Golf. And it's not full Golf R, but you're not feeling like you're driving an Econobox. It has that flavor. It has that heat. The inputs are congruent, I would say. I actually prefer sport steering, so I'm going to switch back to that. Here we go. Even though it's just artificial weight, I do prefer it in this heavier mode. It is a modern-ish E-Pass, so again, your steering feel is not going to be perfect. In fact, it's going to be rather muted. But for a front-wheel drive car, yeah, again, the heel toe has quite a learning curve given the pedal positioning. And also the turbocharged engine, if you guys can tell, there is a bit of lag as you're getting on the power. Good amount of torque. That McPherson strut front suspension, not liking entering the corners too hard. Getting that understeer, which you can of course correct for doing some trail braking, but we're not on the track. We're not going to get close to the limit. Not super eager to change direction. You can feel that weight in the front. But again, at the price point for around 20K, you're getting a lot of car. The practicality combined with the sporty nature of the way this car drives, I'd say it's a pretty compelling argument, actually. I think the styling of this generation is on point as well. Input's pretty natural. Transmission has this like, see this loosey-goosey kind of in-gate feel. Long throws. Not the biggest fan of that transmission. I'm sure you get used to it. It is a bit more congruent with everything else. Like, you know, the brakes are a bit softer too. They don't have a tremendous amount of bite. And, you know, they're not high pressure, high effort brakes either. So having this longer throw, lower effort, a little bit looser transmission is congruent. Steering is also lighter. Even in the sport mode, it's not very heavy. So everything's coming together in a way that feels aligned. It feels congruent. Clutch engagement is really high up, and you don't have that much clutch feel either. Overall, 20K, a lot of practicality, suspension, good comfortable ride on the softer side, so you are going to have more body roll, but primarily as a daily driver, I think perfectly adequate. Even for occasional canyon work, you know, it's finding a pretty good balance point. LSD, I'd say this is the trim, this or the higher trim. You definitely want the LSD. You really feel like coming out of corners. Inputs are pretty congruent, being a bit lighter and a bit more hatchback focused, not full on hot hatch like the Golf R, but for something that is more of a middle ground, they did hit that balance point, I think, quite well. And you don't have to worry about silly capacitive touch buttons either. You have something that is far more usable on a daily basis, that's not going to be as frustrating with everything being in the screen, including your HVAC and such, like in the Mark 8. And man, what a view and what a road. One of my favorites. Big shout out to the owner, Parsa, for letting me review his 2018 VW Golf GTI SE. If you want your car reviewed and you're on the West Coast, visit us on jabalandcars.com. Fill out the form on the homepage, and we'll be in touch. Much love, and I'll see you all in the next one.